Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Eve Echoes. Tonight on the show we're going to take a look exactly at the bookmark system and a couple of more features that have been introduced recently in the game, thanks to the latest update. We got pretty much a bunch of stuff, but the most interesting feature that we can toy around with is the bookmark system. Now, the bookmarks work in a peculiar way, meaning you get to save a location in space where your ship currently resides, or you can also select something and just save that location from your overview. But it does not work for cosmic anomalies, for example. See, I cannot create a bookmark for an anomaly, but I can create a bookmark inside that anomaly by warping to it and clicking on the bookmark, create new bookmark. So let's take a look at the bookmark menu. First of all, it's located where the autopilot is, so it's right here on the top left corner, right below the top left corner menu, or whatever you want to call it. And it's pretty much sharing the same space as the autopilot menu, the old autopilot menu. We'll get to that in a moment as well. So we have this button right here, which basically enables the current location menu. So we've got two tabs. There's personal locations, your personal bookmarks, and the corporation bookmarks. The bookmarks are saved on a corporation level, meaning any corporation member can access them and use them, but you need to have a specific role granted to you in order to be able to save in that corporation tab. We've got the Save Current Location button, which sits at the bottom of this screen, of this panel, and we have the filtering options, which is a default, I don't know what it does exactly, a distance, sorting by distance based on where your ship currently is. And of course, if you're in the same system with a lot of bookmarks, then all the bookmarks will get sorted based on the distance you are from them. Now, in terms of bookmarks that are located in other systems, that will be sorted by how many jumps there are further from you. And you can also sort them by name. So you can find some interesting play around tactics to name your bookmarks in such a way that you can always scroll through them, because we have no grouping by folders. In EVE Online you have a grouping by folder. You can create a folder, you can say like in a specific system, and you can add those bookmarks inside that specific folder. Here you will just have them flat as a flat list. So once you start adding so many bookmarks, I think you will reach a point that just navigating through the bookmarks that you have is going to be very, very cumbersome. I hope more improvements are going to be added to this particular aspect of the bookmark system. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the bookmark system being introduced at all, because it's a very neat feature. So as you can see, I already have a bookmark saved. It's a personal one, and it says, because I named it in this way specifically, 250 above Camilla. As you can see, I'm currently in the system Colmanin, and we have a gate that is called Camilla. So let's take, for example, an interesting scenario. I'm currently sitting in Nullsec, and let's say that the system that I want to travel, the gate that I want to travel to and jump through is, I don't know, camped most of the time, or at least I want to see if there's a camp currently, so I don't just warp to it and just be caught by an enemy bubble and just get blown into bits. So I had in advance the time to, let's say, create a bookmark system around that jump gate, just to be on the safe side. If you don't want to know what I mean, basically, if a jump gate is bubbled, it creates a drag effect. If the bubble is located on the jump gate, you will reach the outer lip of the bubble, meaning you will not be able to reach the jump gate unless you have an interceptor. And if the bubble is actually away from the gate, like on the direction that I'm currently on, let's say if I want to align to the Camilla jump gate, which is currently right in this direction from where I'm located towards the sun, Basically, whoever is warping on this specific direction from where I'm currently at towards the gate, and the bubble is basically behind the gate, then I will be dragged as many kilometers as where the bubble sits, because I'm on a collision course with the bubble, so it will affect my warp tunnel collapse. We've explained this in a previous video, how to warp your ship and how it interacts with the bubbles. You can find it here in the top right corner. Just click on this card and be sure to check it out. So in case that gate is constantly bubbled and I want to know what's happening, I have this bookmark 250 kilometers above that jump gate, so I can... to get to it, I cannot warp. So this is one of the downsides of the current bookmark system. You are unable to warp to the bookmarks that are inside with you in the current system. So even if you're selecting a bookmark 7 systems away, or if you're selecting a bookmark which resides in the same system as you are currently, you cannot warp to it. You can only set the destination, meaning you have to select that bookmark and add it into the navigation computer. Now, you just need to activate the autopilot and it will take you to said bookmark. One important aspect right here is, it was mentioned in the patch notes that we get a color on the navigation bar. Well, I thought it was the radio menu. Well, I guess the navigation bar is this peculiar thing right here, which the autopilot and the new bookmark system basically share, and it gets colored either yellow, green, or red depending on the security status of the system that you are in. So as you can see, I warped 250 kilometers above the gate. The gate is below me, meaning I came from there, and if the bubble was on the gate, then... ooh, come on, sit in place. Now, if the bubble was on the gate, just me warping at 250 above, I would not be caught by the bubble. The same applies for the bubble being on the same direction, but just a few kilometers offset on the back of the gate on the same direction from which I came from the sun. So this would have basically triggered my ship to be left away from the gate, leaving me for dead if there was a camp indeed. So being above, I can warp to this bookmark, no problem, and I can basically see the gate. Why do I pick distances that are higher than 150 kilometers? Because you need to be able to go, I don't know, mobile and at any given point. Especially if you're a nullsec. So being at 250 kilometers from the jump gate, I can actually warp to the gate from where I am. I just selected jump, but maybe I just want to click warp to the gate. So here I'm going exactly towards the gate. I'm basically avoiding any drag bubbles. Now if there's bubble on the gate, do not warp to the gate, just go back from where you came from, try to hide. And we'll get to this in a moment, because there's some interesting features of the bookmark system that allows you to hide pretty good. So I've basically avoided a camp right now if I would have been in nullsec. Now, why am I saying that the bookmark system allows you to hide yourself in plain space somewhere around? Because currently there's no D-scan, there's no scanner probes, no one can scan you down while you are in space. So let's select, I don't know, a station. Let's get with this one. And I will just warp to it. Now, during warp, I can create bookmarks, because I'm creating bookmarks based on where my ship is currently at. So while I'm in the middle of the warp tunnel, I can just click on the button, save current location, and I can add whatever I want to the name. Mid-warp safe spot. I will confirm. And I've got a mid-warp safe spot created right now. Just as we land safely on the station, we'll go back to that specific bookmark and I'll show you guys where exactly we get to. So I'm going to have to input it as a set destination, and I'm going to activate the autopilot just to be able to travel to said bookmark. Hopefully this will be improved in the later iterations of this bookmark system. Being able to select a bookmark and warp to it if you're inside the same system that the bookmark resides is, I don't know, quality of life. We should have it. So I just warped to the bookmark, and for some reason there's an issue whenever you get to the selected bookmark. The ship tends to go downwards. I have no idea why that is, but I'm currently stopping by itself. It didn't do anything. So as you can see, I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around me. One important thing to note is perhaps you'd want to edit those bookmarks later. Why? Because as opposed to EVE Online, when you hit that create bookmark, it creates a snapshot of your coordinates. Here in EVE Echoes, the snapshot of the coordinates of where your ship was located is basically created when you click the confirm. So I've edited the bookmark, I did not confirm, and I was getting ever close to the station that I was warping to. Meaning, if I do really want to create a mid-warp where there's nothing around me, just click the create bookmark or save location, save it immediately while you are in the middle of nowhere, then go back to edit mode. As you can see, we can just tap on this and we can edit, and we can put it a Z. Let's say, for example, we just modified our bookmark here. So that's how you create bookmarks in mid-warp, and basically being in a remote corner of the system. Why is this important? Well, as I mentioned, there's no scanner probes. There's nothing that people can track you down. If you're in such a safe spot in the middle of nowhere that no one can warp to you, you're pretty much safe. You can sit there and basically log off. If there's a camp or the system is camped and they're actively searching, don't waste any time warping from planet to planet. If the station that you're trying to get to is bubbled, if there's no way out, just warp between two celestials, create yourself a bookmark, warp back to it, and you're safe. You can log off, even if you have gate gun timer, no one will be able to find you, and that's very, very important and awesome. Another interesting aspect of the bookmark system is that you can create various tactics with it, especially in fleet combat and especially in home defense fleets. Like, for example, if somebody is about to, I don't know, launch an invasion force and come with a fleet, and you're pretty much set up with a sniping tornado or Naga or whatever sniping fleet that you have, you can have an interceptor plan before, go to several, several of the areas that you think that your fight might be occurring, create bookmarks all over the place, like 300 kilometers away from gate, 100 below the gate, 200 on the right side of the gate, so on and so forth. Why is this important? Because when the fleet commander will be using those bookmarks created at a corporation level or even at the personal level, but I'd recommend being on corporation level, the fleet commander can basically warp the fleet between these points. So if you're in a sniping fleet and you're trying to get rid of a brawling fleet, you just warp to your one of the initial, let's call them waypoints, and you sit there and the enemy fleet engages. You have time to snipe some stuff, but as they close in range, you need to get the fuck out. And you don't want to go back to base, because, well, if you go there, they'll chase you, and then the fleet will go bust, and that's pretty much it. The home defense fleet is pretty much over, because you were unable to contain the situation, and the enemy fleet is roaming freely in your system. So, get to that waypoint. As the enemy approaches, move to a secondary waypoint. The fleet commander should be able to assess the situation where it's located. That's why it's important to have bookmarks named correctly, so the fleet commander can select the best possible bookmark to warp as the next staging. warp to that second place near the gate, which puts you at, again, a very big distance from the enemy fleet in sniping range. Rain fire on them while they're trying to get back to you because you're in a different spot right now. And of course, while they come again and approach, you just switch positions again, and that's how you maintain a sniper superiority. And this is good tactics, just by using the bookmarks and a sniping fleet. And I'm telling you, a fleet of merely 20 sniping vessels can pretty much lay waste to a brawling or a mid-range enemy fleet, consisting of many more players than what your fleet currently comprises. That's pretty much it on the bookmark system. It's an ingenious system that hopefully we will benefit from. And again, there's some kinks here and there, and basically the developers hopefully will provide more updates to it and improve the quality of life when using the bookmark system. So that's pretty much it for today. Please do remember to like and subscribe if you like what we're doing here. And we also have that community question of the week. We just started it yesterday. So please be sure to try to answer the question about drones. What do you think needs to be nerfed or improved about them? There's plenty of stuff to talk about drones, mostly bad stuff, because it seems like they were forgotten. They currently sit at, I think, the lowest point in drone history in EVE Echoes. So be sure to drop your feedback and your answer to the community question. Remember that we have 2 Omega Combos clones to be granted to 2 randomly picked winners. Thank you guys for watching. A very big shout out to my channel supporters, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.